Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with the Proverbs Practical. I appreciate you watching. Our verse today gives us some advice about living in authority structures. We're in Proverbs 24, verse 21. Proverbs 24:21 says, "My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change." So once again, we've got a two-part structure in which the first verse gives us advice and the second verse explains the reasoning behind it. But this one is a little more complex than most. The advice itself here in verse 21 is divided into segments. The first segment, "My son, fear thou the Lord and the king." Well, the first part telling us to fear the Lord, that is to care more what God thinks than what anyone else thinks. To have a reverential awe for God that compels us to turn away from evil. Okay, that one is obviously wise. The second element in that part tells us to fear the king. Now that's an interesting statement, given that a king is writing this to his son, who may even someday be the king. But his son is not the king yet. And while he should honor his father because his father is his father, he should also respect his father's political authority, or if one of his older brothers becomes the king or whatever, he should still have respect for the person that holds that office. This is telling us that we should respect our legitimate authorities, especially government, and that we should genuinely care what they want and generally try to achieve it. Now, this is not saying, when it says fear the Lord and the king, it's not saying that the king is equal with God, but it is equating our response to both of them because both are powerful and both hold authority over us. Political authorities are placed by God for his own purposes, as we've seen from the book of Daniel, as Jesus told Pilate, as Paul told the Romans. Our response to our governmental authorities is a reflection of our reverence for the one who ordains them. As Romans says, the powers that be are ordained of God. This is no surprise. God has always throughout Scripture urged us to treat our authorities with respect, although we've always struggled with that when we don't like them or agree with them when they're in control. But the second part of the verse really jumps out to me. The first part, fear the Lord and the king. The second part says, not to meddle with those that are given to change. The word meddle, the root of it has the idea of braiding something, of being mingled with, of joining with someone or something, of being mixed together with them and accounted as part of their group. And what is the group that we're supposed to avoid being mingled with, joined together with? People who feel compelled to change things, those that are given to change. It's like an addiction to change. Now, it's not that change is wrong in and of itself. Proverbs is actually greatly in favor of change for good. It's constantly telling us to hear instruction, to make decisions, to turn from wrong to right, to improve decisions, and so on. But it's not in favor of change just for the sake of change. Tradition is no authority itself. But neither is change an ideal itself. The question is never, is something old or is it new, but whether it is right or wrong, or whether it is best or not best. And given the first statement with the connection to God and government, this is probably warning about those who want to push for unthought out political, governmental change, or even religious change. It's a warning about jumping in with revolutionaries and radicals, people who just want to change the status quo without a clear understanding of what they're changing to and where that change will stop when it's reached the point that it is right. So, no, we shouldn't bind ourselves to tradition and refuse to change because that's just always the way we've done it before. That's foolish and it permits no growth, and we can never become more like Christ that way. But don't blunder into changing anything and everything without a clear vision either of what you're trying to achieve, of how it's going to be accomplished, of where it's going to stop. Because that can break things that God did establish and defy authorities that He has ordained. Now, this warning has teeth to it, but we'll have to see the consequences or the reasoning behind it in the next verse and video. I hope this video is a help to you. If it is, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more insight from Scripture. We'd love to see you in the comments, and we'd love to see you in person here at Dexter Gospel Church. Until next time, I hope you stay well and respect the authority of God.